back to another coffee catch-up episode of the Mum's Night Out podcast with me, Rachel. How are we all doing this week? It's Friday. I don't really know what happened this week. I normally record this on Tuesday. Well, I do know what happened on Tuesday. They were chopping the tree down in my garden and it was far too noisy to record a podcast, but I'm pretty sure I was then going to do it like on Tuesday afternoon or maybe Wednesday. Anyway, we're now at Friday. So here we are, better late than never. So I thought I would talk in this episode because we are about to head into the Easter holidays here in the UK. And for those of you who are parents and also run a business, I just thought I would share a few of my tips of how I kind of manage the juggle of keeping things ticking over in my business while also being present with the kids and doing some fun things with them in the holidays as well. So here's a few things that I tend to think about. First is I'm realistic with myself. Like, I'm realistic that I'm not going to be able to do anywhere near as much in my business as I would on a normal term day week. Because my kids are a bit older now. My kids are 7 and 11. And so yes, they are much better at entertaining themselves. They are much better at not needing quite so much of my attention and my time. However, I want to do things with them and I want to take them places and I want to enjoy their company and I want to spend time with them and I want to do stuff. So I know that, it's not as the same as it would be during the week when I'm there at school and I've literally got between the hours of 9:30 and 2:30 where I'm uninterrupted and I can work. I don't have that in the holidays. And so I have to be realistic. So that's first up. I put off anything that I can put off for when they're back. So anything that's not massively urgent will get left. And then I look at what is actually key in that time and what are my non-negotiables. Like if I've got coaching calls or if I've got sessions within my membership, these are fixed times, fixed things that are happening. They absolutely going to happen during those holidays. So once I've got those in my diary, I'll then look at how I'm going to manage those. So if it's a quick half-hour catch up in my membership, then perhaps I would explain to the children, let them have, a bit of screen time upstairs or downstairs, wherever it is that I am, and they're not to interrupt me whilst I'm doing that. That may be that. If it's a full, perhaps one-to-one coaching session, then I may need some childcare support. So I may need somebody else to come and help me, to take the kids out somewhere, do something with the kids so that I can get that call done on my own. So I would look at those things first and make sure I've got those covered and I know how I'm going to manage those. Then I will pre-plan anything that I can. So if I've got perhaps some social media posts that I want to go out or an email that I want to send, anything as much as possible, I'll try and get some of that prepped this week and last week, like on the run-up to these holidays, knowing that that's coming. That's not always possible. And we just sort of have to go with what we can do. I don't worry too much about my social media channels over the holidays because if I'm not as present, if I'm not as visible on my social media as I would normally be, I also think that a lot of my followers are not going to be watching as much as they would normally be either, because a lot of people are in the same situation as me and they've also got their kids on holidays and they're also trying to juggle all the things. So they're probably not watching social media quite as much as they would be during the term time anyway. So I don't worry too much if I'm less present, if I'm less on my stories, if I don't post as many grid posts or whatever it be. I just don't worry. It is what it is. You just can only do what you can do. The other thing I do is I kind of look in the week and see what are the things that we know are happening, and make sure I'm kind of sorted to do those things. Like if the kids have got certain activities that they're doing, I'll make sure I've not got any clashes where I've got, a call at the same time as they need to be at a dance practice or something like that. So I will kind of check out the diary and make sure all that is sort of covered. And then I'll look at where I might have some little pockets to do some things. So for example, I know that my son is doing 2 days over Easter at a football, like a soccer camp. So I know that I'll be able to do a little bit more on those days because my daughter, she quite often entertains herself. She's that bit older, or she may be out with her friends. And so therefore I may have some more time on those days to do some work. The other thing that I quite often do is some days, I don't do this every day because I like to give myself a break as well. But some days I will get up early. I'll set my alarm earlier in the morning because my kids tend to wake up late. I understand that a lot of you are probably hating on me right now because you've got kids that wake up probably at 5 a.m. every day. I understand that. I'm sorry. It is just how it is. They do end up sleeping a little bit later. So if I want to maybe get a little bit done, then I might set my alarm for perhaps 6 a couple of days, and then I could maybe get in, an hour or two work before they get up, which can also just be really helpful if you've got a busy day where you're then going out or something. You can get something done, if it's just write your email or create some social posts or something. I just kind of try and get that done first thing in the morning. And then the other thing is just being a bit more flexible in terms of like the evenings. Like I don't often work in the evening normally, but in the holidays I might do a little bit more in the evenings just because that's where I might get some time back that I've lost during the day. So there's various ways to juggle, but the one thing I would say is don't worry. Like the world is not going to fall apart if you are not as present on social media over these holidays, or you have not sent your weekly email newsletter out or anything like that. Like life goes on, and it really is not a bigger deal as we sometimes think it is. Like I understand if you have a product business and you've got orders and people are expecting them, you've got to get those shipped out. I get that. But often with stuff like that, you could get the kids to help as well. You could get them helping printing the labels out or sticking them on or putting the things in the packages or however it be. Like they could be helpful there. Or you can, let them have some screen time or whatever it be. And that's your time to just crack on and get those orders posted out. So there's lots of ways you can kind of flex around. But I think as a busy parent, it is really important to take that time, to spend time with our kids during the holidays, because it won't be too long before they're all older and they won't want to spend any time with us. So let's enjoy the time and spend the time with the kids. Don't worry about the stuff that you can't do. You can only do what you can do. There are only so many hours in the day, and lots of things can wait, and it's absolutely fine to leave stuff until the kids have gone back to school, when you can focus on stuff better. So there we go. That is my way, how I juggle in the holidays. I hope that's been helpful. Enjoy the Easter break, and I will see you soon.